somebody can ask, hey, do you want to grab something to eat? And they'll say, well, I had a big breakfast, or oh, I had a late lunch. Just answer the question. It's a yes or a no. Do you want to eat or do you not?
Why is this a skill that we even have to talk about on here?
I mean, it's sad. You're right. It's like a lost art, just being able to interpret what answering a question means. And something so simple, right? And somebody can ask, hey, do you want to grab something to eat? And they'll say, well, I had a big breakfast, or oh, I had a late lunch. Just answer the question. It's a yes or a no. Do you want to eat or do you not? People always feel like that's as opposed to answering something direct. And I think this is something that is a generation thing, honestly. I see it more so, or I think it's more prevalent in our generation than it was in the past. People are afraid to be direct, and they feel like they have to kind of pacify or be, speaking directly out of fear of how their answer is perceived. Well, I don't want to hurt Ahmed's feeling by telling him that I don't want to eat with him, but at the same time, I'm not hungry, so let me try and dance around how I can say I'm not hungry.
Mm.
So I think it comes down to something so simple, right? When somebody asks you a question, even if you have to circle back to it, answer the question, as opposed to going back and forth, hey, I had a late lunch, I had I had brunch today. To answer your question, no, I do not want to grab lunch today. And I can explain why, but walk away knowing that you filled in that blank, right? It should be like a cloud hanging around our head, like with a blank box. And anytime anybody asks a question, just fill in that box before you proceed to go on. But yeah, man, it's so simple, but it's kind of lost in our generation, unfortunately.